Our company has been featured in a lot of publications like Success from Home, Your Business at Home, and Direct Selling News. All of these publications have discussed our business and our company, and they're all talking favorably. We were also featured on NBC News and an extension of CNN. All of these different media outlets as well as publications talking about Five Links. Now, let me explain to you just how Five Links is set up now. We've got three different divisions that this company is comprised upon. And those three divisions are home division, business division, and now we've implemented wellness division. And so here's the thing. The first division being the home. This just consists of services that we market that people use in their homes every day. So even if you just take a snapshot or a glance at this list, this is pretty much what everybody you know already has in their homes. Home security, home phone service, high-speed internet, cell phones, satellite TV. We've even got some things like identification protection. We've got some technical support for your computers and so forth. So we've got all these things that we can market to people for their home services. Our second division is business. Business consists of the things that obviously companies utilize, whether it's commercial energy, healthcare alternative, commercial satellite TV, payment solutions, which are merchant services, business security. We've got all this stuff that we can provide to businesses as well. And businesses tend to spend even more money than residential. But now let me tell you what we are most excited about now. It's the fact that we've just implemented our third division, which is the wellness division. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, to be very candid with all of you, there's a few reasons why I'm extremely excited about the wellness division. One is simply because I think it's so important that we start to take care of ourselves just as a human race, because the United States is actually the most obese country in the world. And when you think about that, it's because it's also the most profitable, the most lucrative country in the world. But we've got to start to really look at what good is it if people are successful, if we're making tons of money, if you're not taking care of yourself. So this was the perfect exclamation point, in my opinion, to add to the mix of products and services that we already had. Now, I can tell all of you very candidly that there are people that have done extremely well financially in what we've had thus far for many years. But I can tell you, based on the compensation of this wellness division, folks, there's going to be increases of income that can increase anywhere between 5 and upwards to 10 times the amount of money being paid out based on the industry of wellness and the type of money that's involved in that. And I just think about, even if I look at myself and my wife and my other colleagues that are on the line who have been blessed to have done very well. I mean, we've earned millions of dollars doing this. But when I think about taking that number and multiplying it times 5 or multiplying it times 10 for doing pretty much the same thing that we've been blessed to have accomplished over the last several years that we've been doing this is mind-blowing. And to know that we can reach back and teach anybody how to take advantage of this, we are excited. So wrapping that whole concept up, you guys, these are the three divisions. And it's home, business, and wellness. We can sell anything to anybody under any of these different categories. And so you definitely want to realize that, wow, this means that we're actually marketing things that people already use. So it's not like you're having to really sell them on using the services. It's the fact that we can offer them a competitive price, and in many cases we can offer that consumer a savings on these services. So I just believe that a person doesn't even have to be good at sales to get someone to decide whether or not they want to pay more or want to pay less for something that they're already using and already paying for. So that's why we've got individuals that are brand new in business, having never done this before, but still succeeding tremendously because it sells itself. And when I talk about the fact that we've tapped into this wellness industry, let me tell you something, guys. We just launched our first wellness product, which is our coffee, our weight loss coffee. It's an appetite suppressant within the coffee. It's got some special things like MCT oil in it that Dr. Oz talks so favorably about. It's got Ramon seeds that has protein and fiber, and it tastes delicious. So if you can actually have a beverage, which I didn't know, coffee is the second most consumed beverage in the U.S. next to water. So if you're able to actually drink this, and then now this doesn't mean you don't have to work out to get in shape, but this can literally burn fat just by drinking a nice cup of Java in the morning every day. Those that already drink coffee, obviously. And so we're excited about that. But we've recently, just over the last month or so, we actually launched 3 additional products. And let me tell you something, folks. I'm not going to go into a whole lot about what these products do because I've got a gentleman on the line, one half of a dynamic couple that wants to share some words tonight. So we're going to hear from him right now. And let me tell you something. When you look at this individual and their accomplishments, first of all, his name is Mr. Kurt Anderson. He and his lovely wife, Kurt and Tashina Anderson, they're double platinum senior vice presidents. They're also 5 Links Company Advisory Council members. They're consistently top 10 producers in this company, entrepreneur and success coaches, and also 5 Links multi-million-dollar earners. But let me tell you something that I love is that we don't just talk the talk, we also walk the walk. And when I look at what Kurt and Tashina have done, Kurt specifically is getting ready to share some words, but when it comes to these products that I just had up on the slides here, the High 5 Lean, the High 5 Edge, the High 5 Boost, I'm going to let this gentleman talk to all of you about the power of what we have our hands on, because I look at the fact that he's dove right into this thing, and he actually got on the 55-day challenge that we have, and he actually started taking the product, started working out and focusing on really seeing what the effects of this product can do. And as I pull this next slide up on the screen, I want you guys to get a chance to hear from this gentleman, but that's Mr. Kurt Anderson right there, who in 55 days lost over 48 pounds of fat and put on some muscle. And I want him to just share with all of you a little bit about his before and his after and what these products can do for each and every one of you that are out there listening. Kurt, are you on the line?
Steve, I'm here. Can you hear me clear?
I can hear you loudly and clearly, Kurt. It's yours, man. The call is yours. You look great up on this slide, man. You got me in the gym now. I'm starting my challenge as of yesterday was my first day, so I'm ready to rock and roll. But let everybody know, Kurt, what you're doing, how you just transformed not only your physical, but just how you and Tashina are transforming your lives.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, Steve, and thanks for opening this up and explaining the 5 Links opportunities to literally 1,000 people right now tonight, and probably thousands more that will hear the recording. But like you said, it was a challenge. It was a High 5 challenge. The company put out 3 new health products, and I wanted to see what it was going to do. And fellas, if you are on the line right now, I was tired of telling my wife what I used to look like. And you guys probably know what I mean. And ladies, you probably are tired of telling your husband that you used to have it way back in the day. So literally, I was done saying I'm done playing. And here's what happened. I began taking the products, like I said, 55 days ago. Now it's probably been about 2 months ago. And I said, well, if it's going to work for thousands of people who I'm going to encounter in the near future, I've got to be the one to try it first, because nobody wants to be the person who's telling somebody they could lose weight or get healthy with a product if we haven't done it first. So I said, okay, look, let me go out and try it. So I went out there and I said, okay, well, what is it going to do? Well, the lean, which is the shake was powerful. I mean, it literally is a meal replacement shake high in protein that I would take at 6:30 a.m. and I wouldn't be hungry again until 12 noon. And if you can tell by my before picture, I love to eat. So when this shake came about and I was able to skip breakfast and get to lunch, I said, you know, we've got something powerful in our hands. But then 5 Links also released another product around the same time called the Boost. And the Boost is a appetite suppressant with energy, which means that it also held off your hunger a little bit. But the main thing is it gave you that extra boost right when you wanted to, right before you went and worked out. And I wanted to work out, but it seemed like I was always lagging just a little bit. Or after I worked out, I just want to kind of go home and, go to sleep, take a nap. Now, I said, you know what, let me try this out. And the boost gave me the energy I need, not just to get through the workout, but to dominate the workout. But then there was a third product. And Steve, if there's a one that I could call my favorite, it may be this one, because this is called the Edge. And I'm one of those highly competitive guys. I like to play sports. I like to work out. I like to do these things. But this Edge gave me the endurance. It gave me the stamina. And it helped my muscles recover when I was working out. So the three of these combined, and I want to emphasize, three of them combined is what I really attribute to kickstarting my workout. Because, see, I wasn't the person who just started working out when these products came out. I've been working out all my life. And you see the before picture, so obviously my results didn't look like I had been working out all my life. So I needed something that was going to put me over the edge. In the High Five Challenge, all three products work in unison. And I'm telling you right now, I use a good meal plan. You got to have a good meal plan. And I use a nice cardio workout plan that I put together. And the three of those combined was incredible. 48 pounds down. I've got rid of all my suits. All my clothes just got given away to charity. I mean, there's a happy guy walking around here somewhere right now with all my old clothes. But I'm telling you right now, that's a great problem to have. But let me tell you the biggest benefit. The biggest benefit was getting my wife involved with this as well, because she's the opposite of me. She wasn't always in the gym. She wasn't a health nut. And when she started getting on these products, she felt the effects of them and just wanted to get healthier, wanted to be in the gym more, wanted to lose more. She lost 15 pounds. And I told her to stop at 15 because I liked her curves. And fellas, y'all know what I mean. But now, guess what? We're both in the gym together. We're both not just talking the talk, but we're walking the walk. And that is important. So I'm excited. The money behind it is an entirely different, situations, a different conversation, because there's millions of dollars behind this deal, especially when it comes to health and wellness. But I want you guys to see that it is real and you can do it, but you must get started first. So, Steve, with that being said, I hope that just painted the picture how serious this could be for obesity in the United States with so many people. But I'm going to turn it back over to you, because I know you have a ton of great information to give to all these folks on the line tonight, and I'm going to let you go ahead and keep it going. Thank you, Steve.
Absolutely, Kurt. So we're going to dive right into the business side. I appreciate that, man. You've inspired me tremendously to get my challenge going, man. So like you mentioned, Kurt, the main thing we want everybody on this line to understand is that there's a business behind this. In addition to being able to take care of yourself from a health standpoint, there's also the wealth standpoint. And we've broken this thing down to the nth degree to keep it very simple so the masses can understand how to do it. So there are really two things that we do in our business. We are acquiring customers to utilize the services and or products that we offer, and we're also looking for individuals that see that opportunity for them to become business partners. So we're either getting partners in or we're getting customers on the services or products. That's as simple as it gets, but you can earn millions of dollars in doing so. So as you can see on this slide, the first goal for everybody is to get their first 10 customer points. Now you might be thinking, okay, I've got to go talk to 10 family members or 10 friends or 10 associates or 10 coworkers. That's not the case, because the bottom line is each one of the services or products that we have is a minimum of 1 customer point. So the first and best and most loyal customer you should have is yourself, even when you're in the business. So the bottom line is you can knock out your first 10 customers in your first 5 minutes in the business, and then we're going to teach you how to get your first 2 business partners in. And when you do these 2 things, the 10 customers and the 2 partners in, as long as you do it within 30 days, there's a $500 bonus paid to you just for getting that done. Now, the thing we want you to understand is from there, we're going to build a network. And the same way you look at the way corporate America is structured, what's unique about 5LINX and what's unique about what we have is that we've actually inverted the corporate structure. So when you look at this slide and you see that the CEO is at the top of corporate America, and most people start down there at that blue collar or white collar level, and they're working their way up to the top. In our business, we've inverted it. You start in the CEO's position. So everything that you build is a part of your business. Now, here's the beautiful thing. There's no limitation on the depth of the organization you can build. So you can see here that using the example of getting a few people in and them duplicating that and getting a few people and them duplicating that and it beginning to multiply, it will exponentially get bigger and bigger the deeper that it goes down. And in this example, everyone, this is an example of everybody just talking to 3 people. Now, we all know more than 3 people that want to make money or want to get in shape or want to save money. So this is ridiculously simple of an example, and we've actually taken this concept and implemented it ourselves, and now we have tens of thousands of people in our network that are all acquiring customers, that are all recruiting new business partners, and it begins to take on a life of its own so that you will start to make money even when you're not physically doing anything yourself, because you've got other people out here building all over the country, but they're a part of the network that you can start today. So now, let's talk about how this can end up growing. Let's just say that over time, whether this time is 6 months or 3 months or 12 months, it doesn't matter how long. Let's use an example to say, what if you built a team of a couple hundred people? Now, this is something we've seen people get that done in the first few months in this business. But everybody is going to set a goal of getting a certain amount of customers. Now, that number that we set as the first goal is to knock out your first 20 customers. And that's because there's a bonus attached to that. When you get your 20 customers and your 2 business partners, you can earn $1,000 for doing that. So everybody's goal is to get their 20 customers. But the thing that we've implemented now with some of these wellness products and some of the things that we did not have the ability to market just months ago, we're saying, what if you were averaging, let's just say, $2.50 off of the monthly bills that are being paid on some of the products or some of the services that are being used? Folks, do you realize that just with this example alone, you can be in a position where every 30 days you're making $10,000 every month just based on what you build? Now, look, is everybody going to build it like this? No, but can everybody build it? Absolutely. The company doesn't put any limitations on what anybody can build. And so we understand the power of going out here and building a network, because the bigger you can build your team, the bigger the return on that monthly income. Now, there are many of us on this line that are absolutely out earning this example that we have up on the slideshow. But you have to realize that it takes work to do it. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't just fall out of the sky. You've got to put in the work to make this happen. Now, the other thing I want you to understand is that we've got other positions that you can earn based on what you build, starting from the lower positions called executive trainer, all the way up to the senior vice president and the platinum SVP and the double platinum. Look, we know that anytime they implement a position in this business, that position is there for anybody that chooses to hit it, to go after it and hit it. And I'm telling you, the bonuses get bigger and bigger as you start to move up the ranks. And when you hit positions like senior vice president, you start to get some benefits and some perks that are not there for the lower positions. But think about this: senior vice president, you can actually earn stock options in our company, 5,000 shares just to hit senior vice president. You also qualify for a BMW payment that's up to $800 per month to pay for a BMW of your choice, as long as it's silver. And then you also have Global Links bonuses, annual vacation, and expense account. All of this stuff is on the table for those of you that knock out senior vice president. And I tell people all the time, look, we've got a lot of senior vice presidents within our team, but I tell my team members, look, celebrate for about 30 to 60 seconds when you hit senior vice president, because that's the first of the top positions. There are other positions where it starts to get pretty serious when it comes to the perks and the benefits and the awards that come with this next position called Platinum Senior Vice President. Now, I want you to think about this. The first thing the company does is they show you their token of appreciation for the book of business you brought the company when you hit Platinum. First of all, you keep your BMW if you choose to, but then they'll award you a Bentley. Now, I tell people all the time, it's one thing to have and drive a Bentley, but it's a whole nother level when you've never received the car note for that Bentley. That goes to the company. You get the car and the keys, and they get the note. I don't think there's a better deal out there on the planet for somebody driving a Bentley than this plan here. Not only that, but you've got the platinum bonus pool where millions of dollars are actually given away at the end of the year in the form of a check after Bentleys are paid for. The rest of the money is given out in the form of checks to all the platinums, and this is split evenly. So even if someone's not been in the company too long, but if they're a platinum, they'll get their even share as any other platinum that may even have been in the company for years at the time. What do I call that? Fair. Go to work and get it done. You get 5,000 additional shares for hitting platinum. But then there's a position called Diamond Senior Vice President. And let me tell you right now, folks, this is what takes our company to the next level. There's a $300,000 bonus for hitting this position. They'll spread that out over 12 months, which means you'll get a $25,000 bump per month to your existing income, and at that point you were already a double platinum senior vice president. So your income is pretty significant already. But to know that you've got an extra 25 grand every month on top of what you've already been earning, that's incredible. And then after that first year, then you're going to earn a permanent $10,000, and they're calling that a lifestyle allowance. And so let me tell you something right now. There are several of us that are running after this position harder than ever. And there's one young lady in particular that I know is getting ready to get this thing wrapped up pretty soon. And she is the other and better half of the first half of the couple that you heard from earlier. And this is Kurt's lovely wife, Tashina Anderson. And let me tell you right now, I can remember meeting Tashina when I first came on board with this company, and instantly we became brother and sister. And I sit back and I watch what this young lady has accomplished. I watch what she's built, and she's built, I believe, the largest residual income check in the entire company. I believe she is the largest. And so I want to bring this young lady on. She's a 5 Links double platinum senior vice president. She's a 5 Links company advisory council member. She's also consistently a top 10 producer, an entrepreneur and success coach, and without question, a 5 Links multi-million-dollar earner. And so I would love for her to share some words. And she is not only a role model for the ladies, but she is a role model for anybody looking at this business. And that's none other than, I call my sister, Tashina Anderson. Tish, are you on the line?
I'm on the line, Steve. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loudly and clearly, and I know folks are excited to hear from you, Tish.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you for putting this all together. And I just want to say to everyone that is listening in, you're taking a look at a multi-million-dollar business. And I know a lot of times when people look at our industry, and even sometimes when they look at our company, you take a look at it and you're not sure. There's a lot of fears that are set in. But I want to tell you a little bit about my story, because when I was 27 years old, I took a look at 5 Links. This is after going to college. This is after working in corporate America for a few years and really deciding mentally for myself that this is not it for me. I don't know about anybody listening in on this call, but if you've ever been in a place where you feel like you might like what you do, but you feel like you want more, I want you to just hear me out for a second. I had to decide that something had to change, because the direction that I was going in was not going to get me what I wanted out of life. Now, I'm just going to tell you what I wanted. And everyone wants different things out of life. But what was so important for me is that I wanted to create a new life for myself. And at the time, I had one son. I wanted to create a life for him that I didn't have growing up. I wanted to be able to give him the finer things in life, put him in the best schools, take him and travel around the world. And I wanted to be able to go in those stores and shop and not look at a price tag. And when I saw this business, I'm going to be honest with you, the first time that I saw it, The only thing I was thinking about is if I can just get in and make enough money so I don't have to work a job, I would be so happy with that. I had no intention in the beginning to being a multimillionaire. Well, one of the things that I did discover along the way is that there were so many people that had come before me who had already done it. People had already paved the way. And my vision grew bigger and bigger and bigger each and every single year that I was with the company. And it just showed me what was possible. And I just want to say for all of you that are listening in, you know, I live a life today that is extremely different than the one that I started off with. You know, we live in the nicest homes, drive the nicest cars. And I don't say any of this to impress anyone on this call, but I want you to understand what you're listening in on, the opportunity that's right in front of you. And when I talk to individuals, because we spend so much time out speaking to people and exposing them to what the value is in this opportunity. Here's some of the things that I always run into is I run into people who take a look at this and they say, it sounds good, it seems interesting, but they don't move forward. And I can relate because I used to be that type of person where things look good, but I never took action. And I want to challenge you today because I want this to be your day where you take action, because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what you could be saying is that, you know what, I remember that day I was on that webinar. I remember that day listening in to some of the top leaders in the company, and I'm so glad that I made that decision. Because wouldn't it be nice for you to change your family's history? Wouldn't it be nice for you to live in the best places and travel around the world? Well, it is absolutely possible. You're talking to someone who grew up in a single family home in Baltimore, someone who didn't have the finer things in life, but just use vision, commitment, and just being consistent with my efforts, where I was able to get exactly what the company promised. And that's the most important thing, is that this company does not play favoritisms. So anyone can get involved and anyone can have success. Just make sure that you don't pass it by and you don't just listen in, but you take action. So with that being said, there's more millionaires for us to create in the company. There's more people for us to help, and we're not done. Hopefully you will be one of those people that will ride the wave with us, have some fun, make some money, change lives, and I look forward to working with each and every single one of you. So I'm going to pass it back over to my brother from another mother, Mr. Steve.
Thank you, Tish. Listen, it's always an inspiration to listen to you. It's always exciting to hear your story. And look, there's, in my opinion, there's no such thing as hearing it too many times, because there's so many people out there that can relate to exactly where you were when you first started, as we were, you know, just looking for an opportunity and hoping and praying that it was real, hoping and praying it was legal, and then just taking advantage of it, taking a chance and getting involved, and then changing your life forever. And there's no going back once you've learned this and once you've been able to create your own destiny. And so I'm so proud of you. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep impacting people. And you guys are just doing a dynamic job, not only from a financial standpoint, but just the fact that you guys have transformed your physical lives. I'm looking at how good you and Kurt look after 55 days of using the 5 Links products. So I'm inspired just off of that as well, because what good is it for us to make all this money if we're not able to live a long, healthy life to enjoy it and be with our families? So congratulations, Tish. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. And so with that being said, everybody, look, there are 2 positions that you can start in the company. I respectfully only talk about one of those 2, and that's the independent marketing representative. And as you can see on the screen, there's a one-time cost of $249. However, let me be very clear to everyone. That only gets you in the business. That does not put you in a position to start making money. And I just believe in not upselling anybody later. So just know that the first thing we want everybody to do is, when they decide to get in, to also be in a position to start making money immediately. And one of the best ways to do that is our company has put together some bundled packages for people to be able to not only pay the $249 to get in, but jumpstart their business with a bundled kit of any of the select products that they want. I'm suggesting that, hey, the High Five Challenge product Those bundles are incredible because you can start working on your financial future and your physical future. And so that's about another $189, but at the same plus the 50 for platinum. But the bottom line is, for under $500, right at about $490, you can be started in this business and in a position to start making money. So the number I want you to think about is minimally $490, about $500. That is what will get you in the right way. Now, I think it's important for people to know, don't make your minimums your maximums. There's other ways you can get started. Get on a couple of the bundles and come out with the coffee bundle and the challenge bundle and the Global Links bundle. So you can do whatever you choose, but as a minimum, do the $249 and one of the bundles, which is going to be about $500 total, and that puts you in a position to start making money immediately. Now, do we expect you to understand all of this just from this webinar? No, but we've got the training and the support in place. We just had Tony Robbins at our last convention just a couple weeks ago. And look, we've got not only local training, regional training, that international training, but every aspect, webinar training, conference call training, which, by the way, I've got a big announcement I'm going to make at the end of this webinar. But everything's in place. Personal websites, we got 5 Links University, business reporting. But in addition to all of the resources that the company has in place, it is important for you to understand that the leaders of this company are dedicated to helping each and every one of you succeed. And so I want to just briefly let my wife, hopefully my wife will come down here in a minute if she hears me saying this, because I want her to share a few words. But we actually are so blessed to be a part of this company, because I mentioned to all of you in the beginning that we've been in this industry now for 18 years, and blessed to now be double platinum SVPs, also advisory council members, consistent top 10 producers. We're entrepreneurs and success coaches. We've also definitely become multi-million-dollar earners in the company, and 18 plus years of network marketing experience. And what I love about that is, you may look at these stats today, but I want you to understand it's not where we started. And I really want my wife to kind of give you guys a full circle explanation of where we've come from, because there's something that I want her to share in regards to this particular book that's out right now called The Wealth Choice. And, you know, she had a full circle moment over the last, 18 years based on where she was at that time, and this gentleman that's on the screen with us, Dr. Dennis Kimbro, and just the impact he had on her life and how it has evolved into her becoming who she is today, which is also a big part of who I am today. And that's none other than double platinum Senior Vice President, my wife, Mrs. Pasha Carter.
Well, good evening, everyone. First of all, I hope everyone can hear me clearly. But for many of you that are on the line, first of all, this has just been absolutely phenomenal. I've been listening in to all of the speakers. And for me, when I got started in this industry, I was 23 years old. And I want you guys to hear this, because many of you on this line listening in for the first time, a lot of times you see where we are today. I'm going to take you back just for 30 seconds as to where I personally came from. I was 23 years old, living in Atlanta, Georgia, just getting out of school, and I was literally working 2 jobs, sleeping on the floor of my best friend's 1-bedroom apartment. And I got to a point in my life where I said to myself, something's got to change. I was tired of getting up and giving the best hours of my day to build someone else's dreams and goals. And I'll never forget, I was invited out to a presentation. I was very skeptical. I was very negative, simply because I was at the point in my life where, honestly, I didn't even know if I was ready for change. But I went out anyway, and I just thank God that I went out that day, because when I went out to take a look at this information, that's when I started to dream again. That's when I started to see possibilities again. And I picked up a book at that time because one of my mentors encouraged me. He said, if you are not willing to read and grow, you need to learn to fail gracefully, because leaders are readers. And I picked up a book called Think and Grow Rich by Dr. Dennis P. Kimbro. It was a spinoff of the Napoleon Hill book. And it opened my eyes to the reason why I was where I was was because of what I thought. And I went to work and I changed my thinking. It wasn't easy. I'm going to tell you, it took a lot of work. And it was just a blessing because at 23, getting started in this business, 25, hitting a top position. At 29 years old, I was bringing in 6 figures from home. And in my 30s, I was blessed to become a millionaire in this industry. And I share that with you to take you back to when I was that 23-year-old sleeping on the floor. And I'll tell you, when we talk about that full circle moment, the same gentleman that when I was at that position at 23 years old, reading his book, last year he did another book called The Wealth Choice. I received a phone call because he wanted to interview 1,200 of America's top African-American money earners in the country. And he selected myself and my husband. And that was the day where the light bulb really went off for me, and I realized we've done something big. And here's what I want to share with everybody. Myself, as well as all of the other leaders, not just on this phone, but the leaders in this company, our entire focus is how many lives can we change? My husband and I are parents of 4 beautiful children. We know there are many parents on the line, and our whole goal is to show you how to incorporate this into your life so that in another 10 years, in another 20 years, you're able to live the life that you've always wanted to live, be able to do the things for your children, travel the world, and live the way that we're supposed to live life more abundantly and have fun and enjoy it in the process. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Steve, and we're looking forward to working with many of you and helping you transform your lives.
Well, I tell you, the bottom line is, guys, is that it's at a point where whomever invited you onto this call, just let your decision is your decision, and it does not affect us. It may affect you, but it doesn't affect us, because we know that people that decide to get involved in this can change their lives, and people that decide not to have just declared that 5 Links won't deposit a direct check in their account, and it's okay. But I've only seen a few reasons why somebody would not do this. And number 1, maybe they didn't understand it. Number 2, they may not believe what we're saying. Number 3, they don't feel they have the time. Or number 4, they feel, hey, I don't have the $500 to get started. And let me just touch on this as we close, that, look, if right now understanding it was the end all be all, look, I don't expect you to understand everything from this one webinar, but just know that if the concept makes sense to you, that you can literally be in a position to make money every time people are paying a bill, whether it's for a product or a service, and they have to pay the bill every month forever. If that makes sense, and there's not a limit to how many people you can make money on, then get involved. Earn while you learn the rest, just like we did. Then that person that says, I don't believe it, I don't spend a lot of time on that because we're documented. You can go do your due diligence and check out and validate everything that we're sharing. Third person says, I don't know if I have the time. That's the one that I always spend the most time on, because people feel they don't have time only because they're busy doing other things, but those other things may not be the things to provide them financial independence. So you've got to ask yourself, is if you're busy doing things that aren't going to get you wealthy, is this at least a value to give more input in order to change your life? And then that last reason, somebody says, well, Steve, this makes a lot of sense. I can make the time, I just don't have the money. And I can tell you, Pasha touched on this briefly, we are all where we are today based on the decisions that we make. And so it's nothing to be embarrassed about, because most people in the United States are living, 97% of the population earns less than $100,000 a year. And we've grown to learn that that's not a lot of money. And so when you think about that, it means that we all have things to learn. But learn from those that are where you want to be. Learn from the Tashina and Kurt Andersons. Learn from the Stan and Sharice Richards. Learn from all the leaders. I mean, we've watched leaders within our organization like Mondez, Holloman, and Kayla just develop into leaders in this industry. All these types of people that we've watched them start from the beginning and build a monstrous organization. And so you can do it as well, but you've got to make that mental decision as to whether or not it's for you. And whatever decision you make, we support. And so we look forward to getting a chance to work with each and every one of you. This call is recorded, so we'll make sure we get the replay line out to everybody. And the big announcement that I had is that people have been asking me, because for 4 consecutive years, every Monday night, I would do a training at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern. And I took a little break from that, just to take a little break. And but everyone's been kind of calling and asking and saying, when are you starting the training calls back up? Well, the good news is I'm starting the calls back up next Monday. So 1 week from today, we are back on Monday night. Let me give everybody the call-in number in case you don't have it, but it's 712-432-0075. 712-432-0075. The PIN number is 228998, followed by the pound sign. And that's going to be a generic 5 links leadership call. Doesn't matter whose team is on who's on anybody's team. This is going to be one of those open calls. I will feature a lot of the Platinum Senior Vice Presidents on the call. And so we are just going to build this company to a multi-billion-dollar company together. It is one band, one sound, and that's the way we're rolling in 2014. So with that being said, thank you guys for your time. Get back with the person that invited you on the call. Sign up for the challenge. Get in the business. Change your life financially and get in the best shape of your life. With that, you guys, live a better life. This is Steve Carter, double platinum senior vice president with 5 links. God bless all of you and enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day holiday. Take care.